Yes.
Okay, good. So let's get started. Yeah. So let's work on the problem from yesterday. That is, we have n intervals. Interval I has start time SI, finish time FI. We want to find the smallest number of rooms such that all intervals can be scheduled. And what Siddharth had suggested is that, so first, actually, Anushka had suggested that had given an algorithm to find the largest number of non-overlapping intervals, right? Algorithm to find the largest number of non-overlapping intervals, right? That is what Anushka had given us. And then what Siddharth was suggesting is that, right, what Siddharth was suggesting is that use Anushka's algorithm over and over until all intervals are scheduled. Are both these algorithms clear? First of all, before we talk anything more, I want to understand that everyone understands what these two algorithms mean, what Siddharth's suggestion was. If not, please ask. Okay, good. So the yesterday when we stopped, the question we asked was, does Siddharth's algorithm work? If so, what is the analysis? Why does it work? If it doesn't work, why does it not work? Can somebody tell me the answer to that, or at least give me the thought, or just tell me your thought about it? What are your thoughts?
I think Siddharth's algorithm won't work because if we have a specific arrangement, 1 down, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5, and we choose 1 according to Anushka's algorithm for finish time. We have to eliminate.
No. One second. Sai Arun. Let us. So you are saying that you have a counter example. Let's see.
Yes.
Just 1 second, Sai Arun. So give me the example. So you have 1 in. This is 1. Then
2 is slightly above it.
Okay, like this.
Yes.
Okay.
3 will be 3 will be after the finish time of 1, but inside the finish time of 2.
Like this?
Yes. 4 will be inside 3. 4 will be inside 3. And then 5. 5 will be after 4.
Like this?
Yes.
Okay. So let's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what will Anushka's algorithm give us?
We have to choose 1 because it has the earliest finish time. After that, the 2 is overlapping it, so we can cancel 2.
Okay, so 1, 3, and 5, right?
Yes.
And then 2 and 4, right?
Yes.
So what is wrong? I mean, that is correct, right?
Yeah. I accidentally thought that 4 will also be counted in the first one.
Right, nothing wrong. So let's ask Siddharth. Siddharth, does your algorithm work or it doesn't work?
Yes, my algorithm works. As long as okay, so earlier we said that Anushka's algorithm does work and it can prove. As long as Anushka's algorithm does give the maximum number of so basically my algorithm works on Anushka's principle. It's like so Anushka's algorithm takes the maximum number of intervals in one room. So we grab as much as possible in one room. and then whatever's left over will be the least amount possible. Then we grab everything of that using Anushka's algorithm and place it in the second room. Whatever's left, if there is
Very
any,
correct.
grab it and put it in the third room, and so on. My algorithm does work. There is no counter example. Unless someone can find a counter example for Anushka's algorithm, my algorithm will stay true.
So Siddharth, we proved that the algorithm is correct yesterday. So given that Anushka's algorithm is correct, you are super confident that the algorithm is correct?
Yes, I'm like super confident.
Okay, so let us see this. Right, so what about this counter example? So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Suppose we pick the maximum number of non-overlapping intervals first, and suppose we pick intervals 1 and 4 first in one room, and we put them in one room, and then in the next room we are forced to pick 2, and in the third room we are forced to pick 3, whereas actually God's solution or the optimal solution will say, I will pick 1 and 3 in one room and 2 and 4 in the other room. So Siddharth, it doesn't work. Your algorithm doesn't work.
He's telling me you executed it wrong.
I executed it wrong. Okay, Siddharth, please explain, how did I execute it wrong?
You shouldn't have coupled 1 and 4. You should have coupled 1 and 3 and then 2 and 4 in the next room.
Ah, good point. So Siddharth saying, look, I don't understand Anushka's algorithm. I should have coupled it wrong. Okay, I did wrong. Okay.
You coupled
How
it.
about this?
You didn't couple. You coupled it wrong. You coupled it wrong.
Okay. Let's see. Now, do you think that I coupled it wrong? 1 and 4, and then 2, and then 3. Siddharth, your algorithm goes out of the window.
But I think again you have coupled it wrong. 1 and 3,
Please tell me how.
2 and 4. 1 and 3.
No, but one. Why? No. Once again, I have followed Anushka's algorithm correctly now. Anushka's algorithm was. Do you agree, Siddharth?
Okay, so I think my algorithm has flown out of the window. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so that's okay. What is the moral of the story? Greed is not always good. Right? You tried to grab more in the beginning. You said, okay, I'll grab whatever comes in my hand, I will pick it. No, you got to be a little careful. Okay, good. But it was nevertheless, it was an excellent suggestion. It is an excellent, but it doesn't work. Is everyone clear with that? Okay, good. So can somebody think of an algorithm for this problem? Again, the problem remains the same. I want to pick the smallest number of rooms to store all the intervals. Siddharth, go ahead.
I think I have another algorithm.
Go ahead.
It is similar to my first algorithm, only thing it doesn't use Anushka's algorithm. Can you scroll down? I'd like to see that mysterious counter example right there.
Okay.
So what I really think is, it's like you try and couple some non-overlapping intervals. You try and couple maximum non-overlapping intervals like 1 and 3, 2 and 4. Like that. 1 and 3, then 2 and 4. 1 and 4, then 2. Yeah. Yeah, 1 and 3,
Yeah,
2
but
and
you
4 in the
can't.
first
Yeah,
one.
but you can't try all combination because there are exponential number of combinations.
Oh,
Try to come up with something simple.
okay.
Don't make it too complicated. Let's go to Anushka again. She seems to think of good algorithms. Go ahead, Anushka.
Sir, it's not the algorithm. I mean, like just because Siddharth's algorithm got a counter example doesn't mean my algorithm is wrong, right?
That is true. Your algorithm is correct to find the maximum number of non-overlapping intervals, but this is a different problem. This problem says we want to schedule every interval and we want to use the smallest number of rooms. How do we solve that?
Okay.
Yes. So my thing is that can you go down so that
Yes,
I can give my
Vagisan.
solution? So I so like when we just look at the problem, we can determine the number of intervals at the starting, the number of rooms at the start actually. So like if we are keeping like three intervals overlapping at the same time, then we need at least 3 rooms.
Wow, what Vagisan is saying is a very good observation. If I understand you, Vagisan, what you are saying is that if you have 3 intervals that all go through the same vertical line, then even God will need at least 3 rooms, right? Nobody can do without less. So we need, if in such a case, we need at least 3 rooms to
Yes,
schedule.
yes. And in the case like the one on above, like yes. So here like we have to kind of first take the large intervals out first and pick the overlapping interval along with that thing. And so
Okay, so Vagisan, try to formalize your thought. Let me ask Devansh.
So I was thinking like the beginning is a bit like Anushka's algorithm. You take the one which has the earliest end time.
Okay.
Then after that you select the next which is not overlapping with it, which has the earliest end time. Then you follow the steps for until you run out of like slots. Like so, for example, in
No,
the
but that is the same thing that Siddharth said, right?
no, no, it's not. Like you don't eliminate anything. Instead, you first, like for example, in the counter example you gave for Siddharth's algorithm, we'll start with one.
Mhm.
Then the next one, which is oh, okay, wait, that's it falls in the same way. But then if okay, maybe you can make the algorithm like first we choose the one with the earliest end time. Then the next one does not overlap with it and has the earliest start time, and so on.
So you change from end time and then start time. What do you mean by that? Just keep life simple. Don't make things too complicated.
Yes, I'll just simplify it a bit until.
Okay, Utkarsh, go ahead.
Sir, I don't know if this method is correct, but I want to give a try. First, we will schedule the intervals which has the longest duration, uh, and book like a room for them, and
Okay.
the other which are overlapping with it, we need another room for it, and uh, then we will next choose the other which has the longest duration, and then we will save a room for it.
Yeah, but how will you schedule the intervals that are overlapping with the longest interval? There will be overlaps between them also. So you have to be more precise. Devansh is almost there. He just needs to clean it up a little bit. Hurry, go ahead. Okay, Vagisan.
I just got what I have to do. So first, we have to take the largest interval, and then we have to just, let's say, like we are just keeping two sets of intervals. So we are keeping. So currently, all of them are in the room one, and then now first you need to find the largest interval. Go left and go right in the schedule till you find the next non-overlapping interval in the before it or after it. So schedule that into the same room. Then take the next longest interval. Go left or right.
So Vagisan, let's keep it a little simple. Let's see what Parth has to say.
So first you'll find the total number of intervals, and then you remove the overlapping intervals. So here we see 2 and 4, and then we add 1. So number of total minus the number of overlapping intervals plus 1.
No, but overlapping intervals is not a precise thing. What do you mean by overlapping intervals? Some intervals may overlap, some may not overlap.
Okay.
Okay,
So there
Devansh
are two.
Gupta. Yeah, Parth, the problem is this, right? Which 1, 2, 3, are they all overlapping? They are not merely overlapping. Pair of them overlap. So you have to be more clear. Devansh, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I think that this is like the more refined algorithm. We choose the interval with the earliest start time. One second. Sir.
Uh-huh.
We choose the interval with the earliest start time. Then after that, we choose the next interval, the earliest start time, which does not overlap with it, and so on until we reach the final interval. Then after that, we go for the interval. We remove these intervals. The intervals we selected, we remove them. We put them all in one room. Then the next interval, the earliest start time, we run it. We run the same algorithm.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. So Devansh's algorithm is the same algorithm as Anushka's first problem, but he's doing it. So what he says is this. Choose the interval with the earliest start time. Delete temporarily, let's say, the overlapping intervals. Add the next interval with earliest start time. Right? And you repeat. Okay, sorry. You know what I should have done? I should have just said, you repeat all these intervals go in room 1. And then after this, repeat the process to find all intervals that go in room 2. And so on. Continue that. Is this algorithm of Devansh clear to everyone? Sayun, is that clear?
Yes.
Shresh, is this clear?
Yes.
Siddharth, is this clear?
Yes, and yeah.
Anushka, yeah, go ahead. Anushka, is this clear?
Yes. Yes, it's clear.
Okay, good. Yeah. So instead of finish time, we are using start time. Okay. Smayan, question.
Oh yeah, so I think this will work.
Okay, good. Let's try to figure out why it will work. Okay, so analysis. Why does Devansh algorithm work? So we'll say, suppose we have used K rooms. Yeah. Now we use the idea of Magison. We said that suppose we use K rooms. If we can show that there are K mutually overlapping intervals, then we are done, right? Because what Magison told us is that if we draw a vertical line goes through K intervals, then we know that optimal, that is even God will need K rooms to schedule these intervals, right? And we are using K rooms, and that is why our algorithm works. So how we show this? So we'll do it as follows. Consider the first time that room K is opened, right? So some interval must have opened room K, right? Because you could not fit in any of the rooms. Let me explain this algorithm slightly differently. It's the same algorithm, but this algorithm of Devansh, I'll put it slightly differently. We'll say process intervals in increasing order of start times try to add the interval to rooms 1, 2, blah, 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 and add it to the first available room. Right? So we try to add this interval to room 1. We say, oh, somebody is overlapping with me. So we go to room 2. Oh, somebody is having a meeting. We go to room 3. Oh, nobody is having a meeting now. That is, I don't have anybody overlapping with me. So I add it to room 3. And if all the rooms that are used are booked, I open a new room. I unlock a new room and I start my meeting. So we are saying, consider the first time that room K is open, right? say interval I is the first interval to use room K. Yeah. So what? This is interval I. Why was I not scheduled in room 1, Shresht?
Because someone already occupying the room at the time when it
Good.
started.
Somebody was occupying the room at that time. Shresht, continue. Why was I not scheduled in room 2?
Because somebody was occupying room 2.
Room
Also.
2, which means that which means that I was overlapping with somebody in room 1.
Yes.
I was overlapping with somebody in room 2. I was overlapping with somebody in room 3.
And so on until room K. Room K minus 1.
Until room K minus 1. Yeah? And now if you take a vertical line through here, it will go through all the intervals. And how many of the intervals are there? K. And so I even God must use K rooms and we are done.
Yeah.
Right? We are using K rooms. God must use K rooms, at least K rooms, and we are done. That is an optimal solution, must use K rooms. Are we all good with this argument? Yes. Devansh, go ahead.
So I'm not sure if what I'm saying is the same as yours, but what I thought was, let's say if we are going to use, again we'll take K rooms. If you're going to use K rooms, then at some point in the interval chart, there need to be K overlapping lines. However,
but you need to argue that.
Yeah. However, let's say that we are using K rooms, and we have K minus 1. Let's say K minus 1 overlapping lines.
Okay.
So if we have that, one second. So if I'm going to use K rooms, but I have K minus 1 overlapping lines, then we can clearly say that this is not the most efficient. However, if we have,
I don't know. I don't know what do you mean by you can clearly say. I don't think it's that
you
clear.
can say that
Idea is correct. I don't think it's that.
You can say that you will have only okay, if you are using K rooms and the maximum number of overlapping lines at any point is K minus 1, then what your arrangement is not the most efficient.
But that is what we have to argue. It's not obvious. Your argument is your what you want to, that is something we have to prove. We cannot just say what we want to prove. That's what we want to do. That look, then you can do better. Yeah? But you can show it that way also. It's not like you cannot show it, but the argument is very similar to this one.
Yeah.
Okay, Smayan, go ahead.
I have a way to prove this.
No, we have already proven this.
No, I have a way to prove Vagishan's algorithm. The fact that just the number of overlapping things will be the number of rooms you need.
The number of rooms needed will be at least that much. And we have just shown that we use K rooms, and this is why we are done.
Yeah.
But go ahead. You want to say something? Go ahead.
No. Vagishan proposed an algorithm before that you don't need to pick and choose and clear the intervals and clear overlapping ones and then put them in room 1. I think if you draw out all intervals, the most number of intervals that overlap at one particular point in time will be the number of rooms you need.
Yeah, you need to prove that. You cannot, it's not obvious.
Yeah, I'm going to prove that. So
Okay.
when two rooms overlap, when two of the intervals overlap, obviously you need to add one room, because not always,
Okay.
but when the
Yeah.
first two
Yeah.
overlap, you need to add one room,
Yeah.
because you can't have two meetings in one room at the same time. And then
Yeah.
if another two overlap, you don't always need to add one room, because you can use the same two rooms for these two meetings.
Yeah, but that's exactly this algorithm. Smayan, that's exactly this algorithm.
What I'm trying to say is that we don't need to consider the first algorithm with this earliest starting time and clear the overlapping ones and put them in room one.
They are the same thing. They are this algorithm and this algorithm. They both are the same things.
Yeah, it's the same thing with extra steps.
We are just telling how to do. Yeah, that's fine. This is the same. Let's move on to something else. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, let's take another problem. N jobs, all jobs are available at time 0, and job I has a processing time Pi and deadline Di, and we have one machine that can process at most one job at a time, and the objective is to schedule all the jobs in a non-preemptive fashion. I will explain all these things, such that the maximum lateness of any job is minimized. Okay, we need to understand this properly. Okay, so first of all, this is not hard to see, right? There are n jobs. All jobs are available at time 0. Job I has processing time Pi, deadline Di. So deadline is the time by which you need to finish it. We have one machine that can process at most one job at a time. The objective is to schedule all the jobs in a non-preemptive way, which means non-preemptive means once started, the job has to be taken to completion. You cannot say, I will start the job, stop, and then process another job and then start this later. You can't do that. Once you start, you have to take it to completion. That's called non-preemptive, such that the maximum lateness of any job is minimized. What is the lateness of a job? The lateness of a job is its completion time of job J minus the deadline of job J. And if the lateness becomes negative, because the job may complete before its deadline, then we say that the lateness is 0. So we say that the lateness is the minimum, maximum of 0 in this. So lateness, this maximum thing, all it is saying is lateness cannot be negative. right? And we want the maximum lateness to be minimized. So let's understand by taking some examples. So we have job 1. So what is given to us? Let's say jobs 1, 2, and 3. Let's say that the processing time of job 1 is let's say 25. Let's say deadline is 50, and completion time is okay. Completion I will figure out later, right? That's depends on our solution. Next is job processing time is 45, deadline is 55. Third is job is processing time is let's say 60, and the deadline is 70. Yeah. Now, Anushka, question.
Sir, so I had some questions about the problem that was posed. So what exactly do you mean by processing a job? And so is the time 0, PI and DI successive interval?
No, so PI, so let's say that you have a homework and your homework takes 10 units of time. That is PI. Let's say the homework deadline is at time 10. So the deadline of homework 1 is time 10. Homework 1 will take, let's say 5 hours, and its deadline is at 10 hours from now. So they are just numbers. So think of this as a timeline. Think of this as a timeline where this is job 1, that is homework 1, that takes 5 hours. You schedule it here. This is 0, and its deadline is at 10 hours. So is this job late? No. So its lateness is 0.
So what happens when it is late? When there's no time left and you do it exactly at the deadline?
That's okay. So that is what I'm trying to explain the problem still. Yeah. So let's see this, right? So let us say that I schedule, let's say that I schedule, okay, let me say that this is 55. Yeah. So let us say that I schedule job 3, followed by job 1, followed by job 2. What is the completion time of job 3? Anushka, what is the completion time of job 3?
Sir, I still don't get what you mean by
Okay, just give me an answer. Give me a number. I don't care whether you understand or not. Just give me an answer so that I know how much you understand. Give me the completion time of job 3.
10.
How can it complete at 10? Its processing time is 60. So you start at 0 and it will go for 60 units of time, correct? Correct? The process time is 60. It has to take 60 units of time. Okay, so Devansh, what is the completion time of job 3?
The completion time, if it starts at time 0, will be 60.
will be 60. Anushka, is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, yes,
Sir,
it's clear.
Okay. Devansh, what is the lateness of job 3?
of job,
3.
it doesn't have any lateness. It's completed before
So
time.
0. So 0. Good. Now, what is the completion time of job 1?
Sir, I wanted to say one thought I had for finding
No,
the most efficient way.
answer my question first. What is
Completion
the
time for
completion
job
time
1,
of job 1?
25.
No.
Okay. Oh no. Okay. The completion time is 85. Sorry.
Very good. Right. So the completion time of job 1 is 85. So because this is 25, this is 85. Smayan, what is the lateness of 1? Okay, Siddharth, what is the lateness of job 1?
No, sir, I was muted. I can't unmute myself.
Yeah, yes, Smayan, go ahead. What is the lateness of job 1?
The lateness of job 1 is 35.
Fantastic. Now, what is the completion time of job 2? Shresh.
Yeah, so the completion time of job 2 is 140.
What is its lateness?
It will be 85.
85. What is the maximum lateness of any job? Shresh, continue.
Maximum lateness of any job.
Among the 3 jobs, which is the job which is the most late?
Second.
Second one.
Yes.
Right? And we want to minimize that. That is our objective function. We want to minimize. So think of it this way. Let's say that Rajiv says that, hey, I will not start my class before everyone arrives. Right? I will not start my class before everyone arrives. Now, is it better that the whole class is late by 10 minutes? Or is it better that everybody is in the class on time, but one person is late by 1 hour? Which one is better? Nida. Devansh.
Sir, could you repeat the question?
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
No, actually, the current had gone, so Siddharth was not there for 10 minutes. He's joining again
Oh,
from
I see.
a little confused.
Okay.
If you can orient him quickly, thank you.
Okay. Devansh, go ahead. Tell me what I'm asking is it better if everybody is late by 10 minutes, or is it better that almost everybody is on time, but one person is late by 1 hour?
I think the second is better, David.
No, right? Because then the maximum lateness is 1 hour. If
however,
everybody is
okay, then everyone late by 10 minutes is better. If you're going to
is
look at the
better
maximum.
because then I can start my class after 10 minutes. So we want to minimize the maximum lateness. Siddharth, is the question clear?
Actually, I didn't understand. I understood the job, but I didn't understand pre-time, deadline, completed time, or lateness or anything.
Okay. So
lateness, I
okay.
don't know anything in this job scheduling.
Okay. So each job has a processing time and a deadline. Okay. So they are just think of them as integers. And we have one machine. That can process at most one job at a time. And we want to schedule all the jobs in a non-preemptive way. Non-preemptive meaning Once you start a job, you cannot stop it. You have to take it to completion. You cannot stop it and say, I'll take another job, finish it, and then come back to this job. Such that the maximum lateness of any job is minimized. So what does this mean? This means that, okay, so the lateness of a job is its completion time minus the deadline. But lateness cannot be negative, and that is why we did say max of 0 in that. Now, let's take this example. We have job 1, job 2, job 3, and this is the processing time, this is the deadline. That is the input, processing time, deadline, input, processing time, deadline, input. Now, suppose we do this schedule. Job 3, job 1, and job 2. So, Siddharth, tell me, what will be the completion time of job 3?
Don't know how to calculate completion time from pre-time and deadline.
Okay, completion time is you schedule the job at time 0 and then you just add it, that's all.
Oh, so completion time is basically what? You have to add what?
Just answer my question. Right now, don't question me because you don't understand this. So I'm trying, just answer my question. Give me a number because you are going to get marks on that. So if job 3 starts at time 0, what time will it complete?
If job 3 starts at time 0, it will complete at 70 because the deadline is 70.
No, but its processing time is 60. Processing time is the amount of time it takes to finish. So what time will job 3 finish, Siddharth?
Oh, the job will finish at 60.
Good, right? So
Yeah,
job will finish at 60. Now, job 2 will be scheduled. Let's say we schedule job 1 after that. Tell me the completion time of job 1, Siddharth.
Well, from if we schedule job 3, it will take 60 because from time 0 till 60. From job 1, it will take 70 plus 25, 95.
So why 70? Why 70? Why would you start at 70?
This is because the deadline of the first job 3 is 70.
No, deadline, no, 1 second. Think of it this way. You have homework in math and homework in physics.
Okay.
Suppose you finish your homework and both are due tomorrow. Both are due, say math homework is due tomorrow, physics homework is due day after. If you finish your math homework, will you wait till tomorrow to do physics homework or you can start it early?
Oh yeah, I can start it early.
Okay, so tell me what will be the completion of job 1?
Oh, the completion time of job 1 will be 60 plus 25, 85.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because from...
Now tell me...
Yeah.
Okay. Now what will be the completion time of job 3 if it is, job 2 if it is scheduled after job 1?
The process, the time it takes to finish the job is 60 for job 3, then 25 for job 1, and then 55 to eventually complete job 2. 140.
Good, right? Okay, now what is the lateness of job 3?
The lateness of job 3 is the completion time minus pre-time. Sorry, right?
The completion time minus the deadline.
The completion time minus the deadline, but it's negative, so we put 0.
Very good. What is the lateness of job 1?
Lateness of job 1 is completion time. The time it takes to complete the job, 85 minus deadline. The time okay.
Very
so
good.
It's 85 minus 50, 35. Similarly, 140 completion time minus 55 deadline. You have to complete your job by the deadline.
Very good.
140 minus 55.
I understand. Okay, that's enough. Okay, so now we want to minimize the maximum lateness. So among all of these, which one is the largest lateness? It's 85. We want to minimize that. So as I was talking to Devansh, what is better for us? So think that Rajiv will start the class only when everyone arrives in the class. Now let's say that everybody is late by 10 minutes. Okay, so let me write down. Everyone late by 10 minutes. Or only one person whose name starts with S, let's say, is late by 60 minutes. All others come on time. Which one is a better scenario if you want to minimize the maximum lateness? Which one is a better scenario for Rajiv as early as possible? This one or this one? Utkarsh.
Hey,
Sir, the first one, sorry, yes, sir, the first one is good to minimize the maximum latency.
Good. The first one, because then I just have to wait for 10 minutes. So even though a lot of people are late, I can start in 10 minutes. But if almost everyone is there and this person starting with S is late by 60 minutes,
Sir,
then I have to wait for 60 minutes.
Sir, I think
Go
we
ahead.
would first choose the job which has the
No,
maximum
I'm not asking you the
deadline.
algorithm. I'm not asking the algorithm right now. Just let me finish this first. Okay, is this clear, everyone, as to why the first one is better, that is every 10 minutes? Okay, good. Any questions? Okay, Utkarsh, go ahead. Tell me what now. Tell us now your algorithm.
Sir, I think we would first choose the job which has maximum deadline minus processing time.
Very good, right? But what Utkarsh is saying is, look, if some job has a deadline D and has a very large processing time which is very close to the deadline, I will do that first, right? Right? Is this clear? Is this clear what Utkarsh is saying, everyone? Devansh Gupta.
Yes, sir. If you're gonna, I had to say mine is Utkarsh. I think that you could say it like if the deadline, the one is the largest value of deadline divided by sorry, largest value of like processing time divided by deadline. That one you do first, and then in decreasing order.
Yeah, but Utkarsh is not telling that. Utkarsh's algorithm is different. He is taking the difference. He's not dividing them.
Yeah, but with difference you can get sometimes you get issues, right? Or
Issues? What do you mean by issues?
also, I just this is I thought like this. It's similar but not the same.
Okay. Anushka, go ahead.
Sir, can you repeat Utkarsh's algorithm? I didn't understand it.
Yeah. So what Utkarsh is saying is, for every job, you calculate its deadline minus processing time, and you check how much room you have. And so then he says, process the jobs in the increasing order of that difference.
Okay, so if a job has a very long processing time that is almost near the deadline, then you do that job first, then you do the rest of it.
You are correct.
Okay.
You are correct. Yeah, very well explained. Siddharth, is that good?
Oh, so now I understand. So Utkarsh's algorithm is basically you check the difference between deadline and processing time. Say it starts at time 0, you check the difference between the deadline and processing time. So we like process in the increasing order. So if the deadline is very close to the end of the processing time, we process that job first. Then when the gap is a little far away, the processing time is a little far away from the deadline, do that next and so on, right?
Absolutely.
Only thing I didn't understand is what if we are going to put a processing time that overcome the deadline. So it's like it's like the job.
The thing is, you will, that means the gap between complete deadline and processing time is negative, and so you would in fact continue with that. You will start with that job. You will
So
start with that job.
basically, if it overcomes, you just calculate the distance between D and the end of the processing time, whichever direction.
Yes.
Okay, so now thanks to everyone, I understood everything that I had missed so far. Thanks.
Okay, good. Is everyone happy with Utkarsh's algorithm? Is that how you do your homeworks when you have lost so many homeworks? Is that how you do them? That's how you all of you do them. Wow. So if you have a homework that is due after 2 years, and it's a very difficult project, will you spend every minute of 2 years doing that project? Because it will take you that much time? What if there is a homework that is due tomorrow, even if it takes 1 minute? Will you not do that just because there is another project which will take you 2 years and it will take you every day of 2 years? Yes? Siddharth says yes or no? So this algorithm will not work. Somebody will have to correct and tell me to do. Yes, Siddharth, you said you want to talk. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I don't know what you mean by yes or no. So what I basically I wanted to say is if you have a homework due in 2 years time and a homework due tomorrow, and the 2 years time is very difficult, you won't spend every second doing that. You will first get rid of the thing due tomorrow, which is 1 minute.
Yes, but 1 second. That is not what Utkarsh's algorithm is.
Hey, that isn't. Yeah, that isn't. You'd normally get rid of what's tomorrow.
Okay, so give me, what do you think the algorithm should be for this problem?
Oh, so I think basically the algorithm should be first you have to get rid of the I'll just put it in homework instead of jobs, then you have to translate. So basically it's like yeah. So if the deadline is very close to the time which is now. Now, if the deadline is very close to now, then obviously you do that first. Obviously. Even if it takes 1 minute. Right?
Well, let's see. Let's ask others. Smayan, help us.
So the objective is to minimize the latency or lateness, right?
Maximum lateness, yes.
To minimize the lateness.
Maximum lateness. Minimize the maximum lateness, yes.
Oh yeah. So I think if you have a certain set of parameters, if you're given each job, and then you see the job with the least deadline first, and you complete that before the deadline, or if you can't complete that before the deadline, then at least you're minimizing the lateness, because if you do it later, then you have such an extended period of lateness. So I think you don't do it in perfect order of each deadline, but it's a bit different, because otherwise what you could do is you could swap them out in order, and something with a later.
Don't complicate. You said lot of good things. Now don't complicate matters. You said so many good things. Now just finish it off.
So we should do it in order of the deadline to minimize the latency. Otherwise, it will grow bigger and bigger.
Good, good. That's all. So it is pretty amazing. You ignore the processing, you ignore everything. And what Siddharth and Mayan are saying is that process the jobs in the increasing order. I mean, if the deadlines are the same, then you break ties arbitrarily. It doesn't matter. But process the jobs in the increasing order of their deadlines. That is the algorithm. This is called the earliest deadline first, EDF. Yeah. So again, in a way, if you think about it for a second, it seems a bit surprising saying, oh, I don't care about the processing time. I don't care. I just look at the deadline, whichever is the first deadline, I'll do that. And in a way, that is how you do your homework. Right? If something is due tomorrow, you do that first, then something due a week later. Yeah. Now we have to prove that this algorithm works. So is the algorithm clear? Anushka, question. Okay. All right. So let us prove that this algorithm works. Again, let's prove the analysis. Let's prove this. First observation. Our schedule. Okay. There exists an optimal schedule. That is God's schedule. You can think of it that has no idle time. That is, the machine is never free. It is always being used until all jobs are finished. Do we agree with this? There exists an optimal schedule with no idle time. Obviously, because if there is idle time, I can just move the jobs next to each other and it will be scheduled. Utkarsh, go ahead. You want to say something?
Sir, but suppose that if the processing time is much greater than the deadline, you said that every job delayed by 10 minutes is good than one job delayed by more time, like 60 minutes. So if the processing time of the which has the minimum deadline, we do the job, then what will happen?
I think it will work. So, for example, let us say that you have this job with processing time, let's say 50, and deadline is 25, and you have another job with processing time 5, deadline 10, and with deadline 10, let's say only 2 jobs. You should still process this first and this second. Because if you process 5 and then you process 50, the completion time here becomes 55. 55 minus 25 is 30. That's the lateness, maximum lateness. But if you go 1 and then 2, if you go 50 and then 55, then 55, and 55 minus 10 is 45. And 45 will be the lateness in the other one. Utkarsh, is that clear?
Yes, sir, it's clear now.
Okay. Smayan, go ahead.
So I don't think that, I mean, it obviously depends on the number of jobs you have.
No,
But
it does not. It does not depend on the number of jobs.
no, I'm saying what Utkar said, that if each job being delayed by 10 minutes is better than one job being delayed.
No, we just showed the counter example. There is nothing left to discuss in that idea. We just showed a counter example. So, okay. Good. So we are saying there exists an optimal schedule with no idle time. It's obvious, right? Because if there is idle time, I can always put them together. Observation 2. Okay, let me define something. Inversion. We say jobs I and J are inverted if I is scheduled before J, but the deadline of I is greater than deadline of J. So it is like this. There is job I, then there is job J, but the deadline of J is here and the deadline of I is here. We say that I and J are inverted. Okay. Can somebody tell me our schedule has dash idle time and dash inversions? How much idle time can our schedule have? Our schedule. And how many inversions can our schedule have? Fill in the blanks. Sayarun. Shresht.
Sir, could you just explain the concept of idle time again?
Idle time is just okay. So idle time is just when the machine is free. So let me show you. Suppose we have a job with processing time 5 and deadline 100, another job with processing time 10 and deadline 90. Then one way I can do it, one way I can schedule these jobs is 5 at times starting at 0, and then wait until time 90, 80, and then schedule the job with processing time 10, right?
Yes.
So this is idle time. Between time 5 and time 80, the machine is doing nothing.
Okay.
But it is still an optimal schedule because both the deadlines are met.
Yes.
So I'm asking that in our schedule, how much idle time I have? Remember our algorithm. We say that take a job earliest deadline first, schedule it. Once it finishes, schedule the next. Once that finishes, schedule the next, and so on. So our schedule is how much idle time and how many inversions.
I know it will have one inversion.
One inversion.
Yes.
Okay, Anushka.
Sir, our schedule has no idle time because if it did, then the timeline we've drawn above would have a gap in between, but it doesn't. So that means there is
Exactly, very good. So 0 idle time. And Anushka, how many inversions?
So there's one inversion because the order of jobs is J3, J1, and J2. But
No. That's an example. In fact, this is not optimal. This is example. I'm not talking about that. My algorithm is here in this algorithm when I schedule the jobs. So in fact, if I follow this algorithm, then my schedule should be what? My schedule should be J1 followed by J2 followed by J3. This should be the optimal schedule.
Then in that case, it has no inversion.
Okay, so our schedule will always have no inversions because we always schedule in the increasing order of their deadlines. Okay, now okay, so we'll stop here. I want to, okay, let me just state a lemma and then we'll stop. Another lemma, we are saying that two schedules with no inversions and no idle time have the same maximum lateness. Yeah, if you take two schedules with no inversions and no idle time, then it has the same maximum lateness. In fact, let us quickly just prove it, argue why this is true, and then we'll stop. And then we'll have some part of that will more. So it is saying, suppose let's take the case where all jobs have distinct deadlines. Distinct deadline meaning no two deadlines are the same. Suppose no two deadlines are the same, then do you agree that the two schedules that have no inversion and no idle time must have the same latency, because the two schedules must be identical? The two schedules must be identical, right? There is because whoever has the earliest deadline, that will be first, then the next deadline, that is there, then the next deadline, the job will be there. So they will be the same. So obviously they have to have the same max latency. If some jobs have the same deadline, then the only place where there will be different multiple jobs having the same deadline, the order may be different, right? For example, if you have one physics homework due tomorrow at 7 o'clock and a math homework due tomorrow at 7 o'clock, whether you do physics first and then math, or math first and then physics, that is the only difference between them. But they both will be done before the homeworks that are due 2 days later. Right? So two schedules with no inversion and no idle time will have the same latency. Are you all convinced with this? Okay, so we will finish the theorem tomorrow. We'll finish the theorem tomorrow. Any questions about the job scheduling? Because I want you to revise this. Siddharth, go ahead.
Here's what I had a doubt. So basically, just scroll down and down and down till the last. Oh yeah. So if zero inversions and zero idle time meaning that immediately after the first deadline is over, next deadline starts. Next.
Could you repeat your question, Siddharth?
By zero idle time, what do you mean? So you process a job and immediately after the processing is over, you process another job.
Yes.
And here's another doubt. If all jobs are distinct deadline, zero inversion clearly means that it follows the algorithm. But then how can you say that they are identical?
See, if all jobs are distinct, have distinct deadline, right? And if there are if both the schedules have no inversion and no idle time, then they must order the first job with the first deadline, then the second one, then the third one. They have to be identical, right?
Oh yeah. So if we have two schedules with the second, they'll definitely be identical. Yeah, no idle time to spare and no inversions. So it's
Yes.
so now I understand it. So basically